Navtor's post hits a nerve because almost everyone has an old laptop sitting around, and almost everyone is paying for cloud services that feel more like rent every year. The source claim is simple: CasaOS turns old hardware, a Raspberry Pi, an Intel NUC, or a mini PC into a personal cloud. The honest version is slightly more specific. It can replace parts of Netflix, Google Photos, Dropbox, 1Password, and home automation if you own the media, accept self-hosting responsibilities, and set up backups properly. Quick production note: this review is being built from a fully local coding agent setup. Conductor works with all major coding agents, including Claude, Codex, Gemini, and the current desktop flow, and it keeps this setup local. Now back to CasaOS. One command, a web dashboard, and a Docker-based app store are the core promise. CasaOS is not a new operating system in the same sense as macOS or Windows. The repo and website describe it as a personal cloud layer around Linux and Docker. You install a supported Linux base, run the CasaOS installer, then manage apps from a browser dashboard. The official README says CasaOS is designed for home scenarios, with no code and no forms as the goal. It also says the project started from the Zimaboard ecosystem and then grew into an open-source home server interface. The core product idea is not hard to understand. Docker gives you the app runtime. CasaOS gives you the approachable dashboard, app store, storage view, and widgets. That matters because self-hosting used to mean terminal commands, compose files, networking confusion, and a weekend of documentation. CasaOS is trying to turn that into icons, install buttons, and a single local dashboard. The headline says 1 command and 30 minutes. The official quick setup is indeed a one-liner after you freshly install a supported system. The README shows get piping get.casaos.io into sudo bash or the curl equivalent. That is convenient, but it is still a root installer. You should run it only on a machine you intend to turn into a server, not on your daily laptop. Hardware support is broad. The README lists AMD 64, x86-64, ARM 64, and ARM 7. It says Debian 12 is tested and recommended, with Ubuntu Server 20.04 and Raspberry Pi OS also tested. It also names Raspberry Pi, Intel NUC, Zimaboard, old computers, and other home servers. That is why the old laptop angle works. The machine does not need to be new. It needs stable power, storage, network access, and enough resources for the apps you choose. The best part of the post is the app mapping. Jellyfin can replace part of Netflix if you already own the movies and shows. It does not give you Netflix's catalog for free. Image can replace a big chunk of Google Photos for personal backup, search, and face features, but you become responsible for storage and backups. Nextcloud can replace Dropbox-style sync if you accept the admin work. Vaultwarden can replace a paid password manager for many users, but it raises the stakes. If your server dies and your backup is bad, that is on you. SyncThing, Home Assistant, and AdGuard are also strong home server fits. CasaOS does not create these apps. It makes them easier to install and manage from one dashboard. That is valuable, but the honest replacement story is category by category, not a blanket promise that every subscription disappears tomorrow. The post's money line is $500 a year. That is a strong hook, but it should be treated as an estimate, not a guarantee. The savings depend on what you currently pay for, what you are willing to replace, and whether you already own usable hardware. A new Raspberry Pi or mini PC costs money. Drives cost money. Electricity is not free. Your time is not free either. But the old laptop case is interesting because the upfront hardware cost can be close to zero. The deeper economics are about control. You stop renting every convenience layer from separate vendors. You also accept that you are now the reliability team. For some people, that trade is not worth it. For builders and technical families, it can absolutely be worth it, especially for photos, files, local media, DNS filtering, and home automation. The source post says CasaOS has 34,116 GitHub stars and Apache 2.0 licensing.
The live GitHub API snapshot for this production shows about 34.3 thousand stars, roughly 1,960 forks, and Apache 2.0. It also shows the repo was created in September 2021, which matches the post's timeline. The CasaOS App Store repo is separate and contains app manifests. This matters because the post is not pointing to vaporware. There is a real open-source project, a real App Store repo, official docs, an installer script, and a visible community. The caveat is that stars do not equal stability. A home server that stores photos and passwords needs boring maintenance more than it needs hype. So the right conclusion is balanced. CasaOS is credible and useful, but any video that says one command replaces your whole cloud life should also say backup, updates, and secure access in the same breath. My read: CasaOS is a strong gateway drug for local-first computing. It is not magic, and it does not make cloud trade-offs disappear. But it makes the first self-hosted step less intimidating. Start with low-risk apps. Run AdGuard, SyncThing, Jellyfin, or a test Nextcloud. Learn backups before trusting your only copy of family photos. Learn access control before opening anything to the internet. If the old laptop is stable, wired, and backed up, then yes, it can become useful again. If it is unreliable, use it as a learning machine, not the vault for your life. The broader lesson is bigger than CasaOS. We are moving back toward local control, local personal clouds, local coding agent control rooms, local evidence, and fewer rented layers. For coding agents, conductros.com and github.com/tyrannyk06/conductor-oss show the same local-first idea, fully local, with all major coding agents and the current setup. For CasaOS, the watch phrase is simple: your closet can be useful, but only if you operate it like infrastructure.